Today, we're diving into an open source project called NagaAgent. Now, on the surface, it's a self-hosted AI assistant, but what really makes it stand out is how it tackles one of the biggest challenges in AI right now, memory.
You know how most AI chats work, right? They're totally stateless. It's kind of like talking to someone with short-term memory loss. Every single time you start a new conversation, you're starting from absolute zero. But NagaAgent is built around this really powerful idea. What if your assistant could actually remember you, remember what you've talked about, and genuinely learn from your interactions over time?
So what is this thing really? Well, NagaAgent is a personal AI assistant built on Python, but it's so much more than just another wrapper for a chat model. The two big standouts are its persistent memory, which is built on something called a knowledge graph, and its super deep integration with a task engine called OpenClaw. That's the part that helps the AI actually, do things. We're going to get into both.
Okay, first things first. It is absolutely crucial to understand that NagaAgent is designed to be a complete system that you host. It runs on your own machine, and that means you have total control over your data and how the AI operates.
You can think of it as a full stack for a personal AI. Down at the very core, you've got this powerful engine, OpenClaw, that's doing all the real work. And then NagaAgent layers all the pieces you'd expect right on top of that. A user interface, voice input and output, and most importantly, that persistent long-term memory.
So let's talk about that memory, because it is really the heart of this entire project. This is what separates NagaAgent from just being another simple chatbot. This is designed to be the agent's brain. And when it comes to memory, you've actually got a choice. You can keep everything local by running your own Neo4j database, or you can use the hosted Nager Memory Cloud service. But, and this is super important, these options don't work together. The cloud service always takes priority, so if you set them both up, the agent is just going to default to using the cloud.
And I love this because it just brilliantly illustrates the concept. Instead of just storing a boring old log of text, NagaAgent processes conversations into a graph. The developers call it a 3D memory sea, which is just a fantastic way to visualize it. It means the AI isn't just recalling words you said, it's starting to understand the relationships between people and places and ideas, creating this much richer context for every new interaction.
So if the knowledge graph is the brain, then OpenClaw is the engine. It's the muscle that gets things done. It's the system that handles executing tasks and using tools. Let's take a look at how this integration actually evolved.
This timeline really shows how serious they are about this. It wasn't just bolted on. It started out as a simple dependency, but it quickly evolved. Soon its tools were directly callable. Then it shared a unified configuration, and finally it enabled the automatic execution of its skills. This shows a real commitment to making OpenClaw the core action-taking part of the whole agent. So what does this actually mean for you, the user? Well, it's pretty simple. You interact with NagaAgent through its interface, you give it a command, and then OpenClaw handles all the heavy lifting in the background. It manages the tool calls, the execution loops. It orchestrates all the steps needed to get your request done. All right, this all sounds fantastic, right? But how do you actually get it up and running? Let's walk through the practical side of setting up your own instance. Okay, first, the prerequisites. And this is a big one, so listen up. You need Python, but it has to be exactly version 3.11, not 3.10, not 3.12. So you might need a tool like PyM to manage your different Python versions. You'll also need Node.js for the front end. Neo4j is only necessary if you want that local 3D memory sea, and the UV tool is just a recommendation for a much, much faster installation. Once you get all those prerequisites sorted out, the installation itself is pretty standard. You just clone the repo from GitHub, you install the front-end and back-end dependencies, and then you run the main Python script. The sources also note that on your first run, it should automatically create a default configuration file for you, which definitely makes getting started a little bit easier. So what can it actually do right out of the box? Well, quite a lot. It has built-in skills for web searching, for controlling a web browser, and even for screen capture and recognition, which opens the door to some really cool features. And, of course, it supports full voice input and output for that true assistant-like experience. Now, like any ambitious open-source project, NagaAgent isn't perfect. It's got its trade-offs. So it's really important to go into this with a clear, realistic perspective on where the project is right now. Okay, first, some of the coolest features like that cloud memory do require logging into the developer's hosted services. So a completely offline mode isn't really the main focus here. We've already talked about that strict Python 3.11 requirement. Also, the project's history shows that while Windows is supported, it has tended to need more bug fixes than Mac OS or Linux. And finally, you just gotta be aware of the dual license. It's free to use and modify under the AGPL, but if you want to build a closed source product on top of it, you're gonna need a different license.
So NagaAgent's combination of this persistent graph-based memory and a powerful task execution engine, it's a pretty compelling vision. It's an ambitious attempt to build an AI that doesn't just respond, but one that remembers, learns, and acts. And that leaves us with a really big question. Is this blend of self-hosting, deep memory, and task orchestration the real path forward to a truly personal AI? It is a fascinating project to watch. Thanks for joining me.